Most business owners spend years, sometimes decades, building something valuable. They negotiate the deal, they sign the papers, the money hits the account, and they finally exhale, thinking the hard part's over. But here's what almost no one talks about. For many business owners, the biggest financial mistakes don't happen during the business. They happen after the sale. I'm Kris Dureau with Green Private Wealth, and in this video, I'm going to explain why the period after selling your business is often the most financially dangerous stage. The 3 biggest planning gaps I see after a sale, and what you should be doing before you sign anything. Let's get into it. Business owners they're basically exceptional builders. They understand revenue, they understand risk, they understand growth. But for most owners, their entire financial world is tied to one thing. Can you guess what it is? It's the business. It pays the salary, it funds a lifestyle. And for many people, it becomes the entire retirement plan. So when the sale happens, something fundamental changes. The business stops producing income, the structure disappears, and suddenly a single lump sum has to do the job the business used to do, potentially for the next 30 years. And that's the shift most people underestimate. The lump sum now has to do everything the business used to do, and it has to last for the rest of its life. Let's give you an example, because this is where I see owners get caught off guard. I'll call him Robert. Robert is 58 years old. He built a manufacturing business over 25 years, and now he sells it for $4 million. On closing day, he feels relieved, excited, like he finally made it. But then reality sets in, because the $4 million headline number is not what ends up funding the rest of his life. First comes a tax bill. In Canada, a business sale is generally subject to capital gains tax. Robert planned reasonably well and qualified for the Lifetime Capital Gains Exemption, which sheltered just over $1 million. But tax still applied for the remaining gain. So after tax, that $4 million sale becomes closer to $2.8 million. Still significant, but already very different from what he thought he was walking away with. And that's before he made a single decision about what to do next. Now, with that context, here are 3 gaps I most often see. First, the tax gap. And it's usually caused by starting too late. The Lifetime Capital Gains Exemption can shelter a meaningful portion of a qualifying small business sale. But there are rules. Your shares need to qualify. The business has to meet certain asset tests. And you generally need to have held the shares for a specific period of time. A lot of owners, they just assume they qualify and only find out late in the process that they don't fully meet that criteria. Or they only partially qualify because nobody did the groundwork a few years ahead of time. And beyond the exemption, there are legitimate strategies that can reduce the tax. Things like an estate freeze, or people have heard of family trusts, and structuring the transaction properly. That can include the difference between a share sale versus an asset sale, which can materially change the tax outcome. Here's the catch. Most of those strategies need to be put in place years before the sale. You can't do them the week before you sign the purchase agreement. So if an exit might be 3 or 5 years away, planning needs to start now, not when you find a buyer. Second, the income gap. When you own a business, income feels automatic. Revenue's coming in, you pay yourself, life just runs. The day after you sell, that engine stops. Now Robert has $2.8 million sitting in an account, and it needs to produce income for potentially 30 years or so. This is where I see owners make one of 3 moves. They just simply leave the money in cash because they're uncertain. They invest aggressively without an income plan, or they keep spending as if the business is still replenishing it, which we now know is not. But a lump sum doesn't regenerate itself. The real question becomes this: how do you generate reliable, tax-efficient income from this capital in a way that lasts? And to be clear, there's no one size that fits all for everybody. It depends on your lifestyle, your other assets, whether there's a spouse, and how government benefits like CPP and OAS fit in the plan. Plus, how you want to structure withdrawals over time. But the worst outcome is leaving it unstructured. Third, the purpose gap. It isn't a technical planning problem, but it affects every financial decision. For decades, the business gives you structure, identity, a reason behind your choices. Then the sale happens, and that structure disappears. Without clarity on what comes next, I've seen owners become reactive. They invest impulsively. They buy things they don't need. They support family in ways that quietly drain the portfolio, or they freeze and do nothing, which that also has a cost too. A strong post-sale plan has to connect to a clear picture of your life after the business. Do you want to consult, start something new, step away completely, move, travel more? Because when you know what you're walking toward, not just what you're walking away from, the financial plan becomes clear. When a sale is handled well, the planning starts early. 3 to 5 years out, you're optimizing structure, confirming exemption eligibility, and getting clarity on the after-tax number, not the headline sale price. Then as you get closer, you build the income strategy. How much needs to come out each year? What's the most efficient way to draw it out? How does CPP and OAS fit into the timing? And an important one that a lot of owners miss, how do you structure things so you're not paying more tax in retirement than you were when you were running the business? And alongside the numbers, you build the life plan too, because the life plan and the financial plan have to work together. Selling your business isn't the finish line. For many owners, it's the beginning of the most complex financial chapter of their lives. The tax exposure changes, the income structure changes, and for the first time, the portfolio has to replace the business engine in the background. The owners who do this well plan early. They know their after-tax number, they have an income strategy ready, and they're clear on what's next. The ones who struggle treat the sale as the plan and find out too late that it wasn't. If you're a business owner thinking about an exit, even if it's 5 or 10 years away, this is exactly the kind of planning we do here at Green Private Wealth. There's a Calendly link in the description. You can book a one-on-one session with our team and start getting the clarity on your after-tax number and what needs to happen between now and the sale to protect it. And if this video gave you something to think about, please like it, share it with a business owner who you know needs to hear it, and subscribe for more content on building and protecting your financial future. I'm Kris Dureau with Green Private Wealth. Thank you for watching.